We're talking NWA WCW from June the 7th of 1986. Sponsored by the Wrestling Palace in Traders Village in Grand Prairie, Texas. Go check them out if you live in the area. If not, check them out on Facebook. Arturo's a good dude. He can get you anything you want as far as wrestling memorabilia. And we get into this week's show. Again, it's from June 7th of 86. The show opens with Rick and Dusty about to mix it up, and the crowd is losing its shit as normal. Also, Crockett tells us that the U.S. title was stripped from Magnum TA due to Magnum's attack on Nikita at the press conference, and more will be mentioned about this later. But the crowd lets out a gasp, like of total disappointment when they heard this. Doc, did you catch that part of it in the beginning when they, just like the air let out the room?
Yeah, I thought it was weird that they didn't go. I was like, why are you telling me part of the story? Go ahead and tell me the rest of the story. And
they do this frequently at the beginning of the shows, I noticed. They kind of do this. Yeah. It's a tease.
Well, and that's 31 years ago. Back then you could do that shit. Now it's like, no, I want to know what happened. You can't make me wait.
Right. Well,
back then you could. What was your alternative?
It's good. Yeah, fair point. Harper, I assume you didn't have anything from the opening?
No. Who was that guy Dusty was beating up on when he first got into the ring?
So on Worldwide, the whole show was built around Dusty and Rick. And earlier in the show on Worldwide that particular week, there was like a long promo where Dusty calls Rick out. Like a real long one. And I think they played part of it in this episode. I'm looking through my notes. So Dusty went out there and had already challenged Rick, and he had challenged Rick like before that happened to come out for a match. And I don't know who the guy was, but it was like that's who he was supposed to wrestle. But Dusty was like, "Nah, we doing it for the title tonight, baby." And he cuts this long promo on Rick, and Rick eventually does come out. I don't know who it was, but that's why there was a guy out there. If you were wondering,
yeah, because I was like, is that Barry Horowitz? What the fuck is that?
That's what I thought. That's exactly who it looked like.
I didn't. I didn't even look at him that closely, but I guess you're right because he did have that.
My first thought was it couldn't be him. He's not old enough.
Right.
Yeah.
And so who I thought next, but I didn't think he ever wrestled out there was Gorgeous Gary Young.
I have to go back and look at it. And maybe they say it on Worldwide, and I just didn't pay attention to it. Because, like I said, they show it from that point on. Like, they show the whole thing on Worldwide. So, I'll go back and look and see, and I'll let y'all know. All right. So, after that, there's a promo. It's Ronnie Garvin. It's very, very mundane. Garvin's talking about having a tape fist match where it's going to be 10 rounds, 3 minutes each, basically boxing, except tape fist. I don't have anything. I don't even have the timestamp. Doc, did you have anything from it?
Yeah, nothing special.
It really wasn't. I mean, literally what I just told you. 10 rounds, 3 minutes. That's all he said for about 3 minutes. So after that promo is a match. It's Rock and Roll Express versus Kent Glover and Bob Owen. Rock and Roll Express win with a double drop kick. Harper, anything from that one?
Nope.
Doc, you?
Not one thing. Boy, this show's off to a hell-raising start.
Tell me about it. Well, let's heat it up. Let's get into the first promo we're gonna play, where it's Jim Cornette and Big Bubba Rogers.
By the way,
yeah.
It does say here that Horowitz trained as a professional wrestler under Boris Malenko. Debuted in 1979 and had worked for Jim Crockett Promotions in the Mid-Atlantic area at some point. So I guess we can't rule out that it was him at this point.
I'm gonna go back. I'll pull it up at on the Worldwide episode and look, because I could. I mean, now that you say that, it quite could have been him. It's just hard to really tell.
Well, he did disappear from Smoky Mountain, so there's no telling.
Well, he disappeared in the 90s.
He went out for coffee and never
Bro, you ain't lying. In Smoky Mountain, he went out for coffee and never, just disappeared off the planet in Smoky Mountain.
He gets stuck in a bathroom.
All right, so let's listen to Cornette now. This is the first promo we're going to play from the episode. Here it is.
Roll Express. Now they travel in twos, don't you?
Do you think that impresses me? Do you think, hey, they're fixed to have to give a telethon for the Rock and Roll Express if they look any worse? And let me say one more thing. Big Bubba, no trouble. You see, Bubba Rogers taking real good care of me. The James gang has been nowhere in sight trying to put their hands on my body since Bubba Rogers got here. And James gang, The masquerade is going to be over real soon. I'm going to get my mother's bounty paid off to the Midnight Express for taking those masks off and showing just everybody just exactly who you are, getting you out of wrestling. And Baby Doll, man, let me tell you something. Baby Doll, you are in a delusion. You are living in a world of fantasy. You have challenged me to put my tights on against a woman, huh, Tony? Against a big woman, but a woman. Let me tell you, Baby Doll, no woman can beat a man in a wrestling match. I know, especially the manager of the World Tag Team Champions, and I didn't get here by being a dummy and by letting goofs like you take advantage of me. You know, she's got the services of Dusty Rhodes of Magnum TA. She's got the services of the Rock and Roll Express, the services of the Road Warriors. Who knows what kind of services are being rendered, but I'll tell you what, Baby Doll, you're going to get rendered if you try to get in that ring with me. I can promise you that for a fact, darling. Come on, Bubba, let's go home.
Jim Cornette and Big Bubba Rogers back with a world champion.
Corny is just vicious on Baby Doll. God damn. Harper, you go first.
First. He's just bearing the shit out of her.
Bruh.
And he's very male chauvinist.
Jesus Christ. Doc, I'll let you go. I got one line that he said that you heard me laugh at it, but go ahead. You tell me what you thought.
First of all, I think you two need to start being a lot nicer to Baby Doll yourselves, because I have seen her getting interactive with the show on social media.
I'm not being mean to her. I'm talking about Cornette's being mean. I would love to have her on the show and talk to her about 85 and 86. I mean, I've got a million and one questions for her.
Why don't you ask her about that president of ours?
I don't really care what her political affiliation is.
All right, anyway.
Politics free zone. I mean, what
rendering services can pop me. I don't know why.
That's right. That's right. I said that.
That term got me. I was like, oh, that's good. That's good stuff.
Well, he set it up. He was like, she's servicing Magnum, she's servicing Dusty. Who knows what kind of services she's running? I was like, God damn, Corny. Shit. Just the
family entertainment.
God. Go ahead, Doc. Keep going.
No, that was it. I mean, shit. We're gonna get more Corny later, so I don't want to. I mean, he's gonna be piling them up, trying to get his Rolex.
I got a promo of the week too from him that it's Corny, just from Worldwide, even laying it on that show too. So this wasn't the only one where he did it. All right. So with that said, we go from Corny cutting the gym to it's time for Rick. So let's hear what Rick's got to say.
A big response for this man when he walked out, the world champion Ric Flair.
Time. Let's have some equal time out here. This, ladies and gentlemen, whether you like it or not, is what Ric Flair has done to the world of professional sports. Now, if 20 young men can take time out of their life to go out and spend some money on nice clothes and come all the way down here to Atlanta, Georgia, then you know there's got to be 20 million of them all over the country doing it. So, girls, all you out there that are hard-pressed to take off your cowboy boots and blue jeans, remember that one day in your life you might have the good fortune of walking arm in arm, hand in hand, or in back of Slick Rick. Because I am the world champion. Now, Dusty Rhodes. Today is Dusty Rhodes Day. We've been out here week in and week out, and I'm talking about the Four Horsemen. Tully Blanchard, the national heavyweight champion. Arn Anderson, the world television champion. Ric Flair, if you may, the world heavyweight champion. And now, right here today, the return of Ole Anderson, the fourth horseman. And what I'm telling you, whether you like it or not, it's today right here you're going to see Dusty Rhodes get beat up real bad. And you know why? Because week in and week out, the Dream has walked out here and he's threatened us. He's told us what he's going to do. And now, Dusty Rhodes, You're in it again, Daddy. You're the center of attention. You're the focal point. And Big Dust, you're going to pay the price. Now, Ric Flair, 14 great American bashes around the country. 14. And the world champion is going to wrestle the 14 top contenders in the world today. I'm talking about Philadelphia. I'm talking about Memphis. I'm talking about RFK. I'm talking about DC, Charlotte. I'm talking about the Great American Bash. And for anybody out there that doesn't know what big time sports is all about, you buy yourself a ticket, because there's not a football game, basketball game, soccer game. There's nothing can follow the National Wrestling Alliance, especially when Ric Flair's name is on the top of the marquee. So Dusty Rhodes, Ricky Morton, you understand? Wahoo Mcdaniel, Ronnie Garvin, Nikita Koloff, Road Warrior Hawk and Animal. My last words to you are, woo, grab your best hold. Tony, check out that Rolex, Daddy. I got things to do. Woo!
The heavyweight champion of the world, Nature Boy Ric Flair. Let's go back to the ring.
All right, Doc, you go first this time.
The last line popped me the most is grab your best hold. But the thing I also liked is, we see a lot of solidarity between the heels, good guys, and the bad guys. But I mean, even there, he slipped in Nikita Koloff, pal. I don't care if you're good or bad. I got to keep this title. You ain't getting that.
Yeah.
So I like that. I like that piece of it. There's no way he's fighting 14 different guys. I think it's 3 or 4 different guys across the bash. But that's okay. That's fine. It's still talking him in the building. And Ole's back, and now it's the 4 horsemen. We can get that 3 horsemen thing had been bothering me for a while.
You let that get under your skin too much. It was the
man. I can't deal with it.
Well, the problem is we talked about this offline, and I'm gonna ask Harper that same thing after he well, first we'll get his thoughts on the promo, but Harper, Doc, and I said we didn't remember Ole being gone that long when the 4 horsemen were formed. Did you?
No.
I
was wondering if it was gonna fucking come back.
Like, Ole, where are you at? It just didn't seem like it. Time felt differently back then, which was so weird. So I agree, man. It did not. It felt like as we're doing this, it felt like he was gone forever. But Harper, what'd you think about the promo?
I tell you, bro, he had to be tickled pink to see them kids wearing the suits.
Jesus.
He's probably be like, damn, look at this shit, bro. I got these kids wearing fucking suits out here.
You imagine if the front row at Wildcat showed up with sleeveless suits, Harper? You would lose your mind.
You're getting sleeveless or suits, but you can't.
I got some of them.
There you go.
Yeah.
I liked Ric Flair in 1986, but I wouldn't put on a suit for Ric Flair.
Of them.
Yeah, I wasn't putting on. I'm not going.
Yeah, fuck that.
I like Rick in that time period too, but
they got on TV.
Yeah, well, they sure did. They sure did. Oh,
and they got on. They got on the DVD, the Ric Flair DVD, because they showed that shit.
Well, yeah, buddy. You know what I liked about it? The last part of it. He took a shit on the NFL, NBA, MLB, etc. None of those.
If I'm there, it's bigger than all that bullshit.
He wasn't lying back then, man. Wrestling drew crowds, bro. Look at these small civic centers, and that's just one night in a week. That's not nothing. The other 6 days, they're doing it in a different building. Same shit.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the NFL's doing it, 16 days, on a Sunday, but they're doing this 52 weeks a year in a different town every night. Just a different time. That was good stuff from Rick, though. Doc, anything else from it?
I don't know about that, though. I mean, football was big. I mean,
well, no.
Football might have a little something to say because people were doing the Super Bowl shuffle and shit back then too.
I'm not saying football wasn't big. My point is, there's a season. Back then, football was a season. Wrestling was 365, 7 days a week.
So when did football stop being a season?
What do you
You
mean?
said back then. You just said back then football was a season.
No. When I'm saying back then, I'm talking about wrestling. Wrestling was a constant. I mean, it was every single day. Not like now where they're only on the road 4 or 5 days a week at the most. Football has all. Well, you have to say this. I mean, football really was back then just a season. Now it's more. They only play 16 games, but off-season training.
But,
There's an NFL
but what you're
network.
saying but what you're saying is the work lasts all year long.
It sure the fuck does, and you know that. Come on, man.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
think you and I. I don't think you and I should talk football anymore.
He's mad at me.
Hey, who's 2-2? Raise your hand.
Everybody,
We all.
pair, bunch of 8-8 bullshit losers.
Okay, so let's keep going.
Damn, damn defending champs.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, that's true, huh?
Okay, so after Flair is the Raging Bull, Manny Fernandez versus Larry Clark. Fernandez wins with a flying burrito very quickly. Then we got a promo with Manny and Boogie that was just terrible. I will just let y'all know what happened. We had some technical difficulties, but Doc and Harper both said the promo was the shit, so we're not playing it. Then we had the match right after that with Rick versus Dusty for the world title. This thing is also on the NWA Worldwide episode from the same week. The audio is much better on the Worldwide episode than it is on the WWE Network version we are watching. This is 1986. You ain't getting no clean finish. Arn and Tully hit the ring along with Ole and all of the Four Horsemen who are back together, putting it to Dusty, Magnum, Ricky, Robert, etc. They all hit the ring, but the boots are being laid to Dusty. Doc, I'll throw it to you. What'd you have from that?
Does it get any better? It doesn't. I'll go ahead and help you. It doesn't. Hot crowd, horsemen jumping folks. Ole's back on the scene. And then they get over there to the studio, to the stage part, and Ole just ripped it raw, pal.
Pretty much. I mean, that crowd was hot. Harper, what'd you think?
Yeah, fucking Ole shot that promo. He's very believable.
Maybe you should play that promo.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna play. I have one from Arn. Is that the one you're talking about?
Mm-mm.
The one with
Yeah,
they got like the banner behind them, which it says like NWA or something.
And people are throwing shit up there at the stage at them, and I'll keep going. But okay, so finally, Arn's been gone for what? Like,
keep going, because I have a timestamp from Arn right now, not Ole, unless I kind of type wrong or something.
It was like he's been gone for 4 months now. So that's a big comeback, and then they put the boots, and then he's going to cut a promo. It basically drew out the battle plans and shit.
Okay, let me play this one, because this is the timestamp I have written down, but I have Arn in my notes. Maybe I didn't note it right. So here it is.
Maybe it's later in the show.
Happy to have Ole Anderson back. And you know, this man right here is going to be smiling when he comes in.
What did I tell you? Our credibility of the Four Horsemen is based on one fact and one fact only. When we tell you something's going to happen, it happens. And Dusty Rhodes, you find yourself in an unenviable position. You were on the rebuttal end of what you and the Road Warriors did to The Rock. Well, The Rock's back, Daddy. 4 horsemen, not 3, 4 horsemen. And when we start choosing sides, Rhodes, just remember one thing. Magnum's felt the horrification. Ronnie Garvin's felt it. Sam Houston's felt it. You felt it. You've all been hurt because you want to get in bed with the big dogs. So now, recap it and start asking Dusty Rhodes, how many friends do I really have? When they got to sit there and think, hey, maybe the Four Horsemen going to get me getting out of my car. Maybe get me at the bar. We will jump you anywhere, anytime. And The Rock has a few words for you right now, Dusty Rhodes. Roll the tape.
Let's take a look and a listen.
I was next. I thought I was next.
I heard some of you listen, maybe our eyes deceive us. Maybe it's somebody that just looks like Anderson. Maybe our TV is messed up. Maybe a pig can fly. Maybe. There ain't no maybes about it, David Crockett. You're looking at the four horsemen. We're back together. Rhodes, you make the biggest mistake of your life by even staying in wrestling. You should have got out. You got two chances now. One is to stay out. The other is to get yourself crippled so bad that even your papa the plumber ain't gonna know you when we get done rearranging your pipes. You take a look at all the people that have tried to help Dusty Rhodes. What's the name? The Rock and Roll Express. Well, here, we got a nose on the other end of this one. We take care of you, Ricky. We go to Robert, and we go to the most important man, the American dream, the one that everybody believes the sun rises and sets on. Did you really think that you were going to get rid of the Horsemen? Did you really think that Ole Anderson was going to go off to the sawmill and sit for the rest of his life? I tell you this, Rhodes, there's no way that it's going to be over. I know it now. No way it's going to be over until one of us, and right now, you're looking at the burial team. You're looking at the team that's got the shovels. We got the plot of ground out there, and you might as well realize it, and everybody in the world better realize it. This ain't no joke. This ain't no funnin'. This ain't no April Fools. I'm as serious as I can be. We're going to get rid of Dusty Rhodes. You bank on it. You go down. You can bet on it. I don't care who helps him. I don't care where. I don't know when. All I know is going to be done. And right now, we're going to do a little celebrating because the four horsemen are back in business. Unity, boys. The show of unity. The four horsemen. Yes! I thought I was next. Ha!
Serious words right there from Ole Anderson.
Well, all I heard in every arena across this country was, I'm next. Well, Dusty Rhodes, I don't want to say I told you so, and I don't want to toot my own horn, but toot.
Back, and we'll talk about the U.S. Heavyweight.
All right, so I had it messed up. I had Arn written down, and which it was Arn who led into it, but then the Ole promo is obviously in there too. So go ahead, Harper. You were talking about it before we went into it, so your thoughts.
How real does that shit sound?
God. I was sitting there thinking the same thing. There's not a catchphrase in there. I just want to eliminate you. And I believe that he means it with all of his heart.
It makes you feel like, damn, Dusty's fucked.
Wait till the end of the summer.
Right.
That shit was real. I mean, just from the beginning with Arn, where Arn is like, Arn threw a line out there where he said, maybe we'll get you getting out of the car.
Mm-hmm. In a bar somewhere.
A bar. Like, he laid it out like a real, somebody syndicate. That you, like somebody you really have heat with. It's like, all right.
Gang. That's what a gang does.
Exactly. They were like a pack of dogs. It was great. Doc, your thoughts, because you texted me about this when Arn said toot toot.
Well, that's my one favorite line of all time in wrestling is, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but toot toot. And in fact, I say that to unsuspecting people at work all the time. It doesn't go over very well, but I don't really give a shit. So that's my one favorite line. And right there, I mean, I went from Arn starting out to Ole, back to Arn going, which one of these two sons of bitches is getting my Rolex? Because fucking shit, Ole. I mean, Ole is the only guy I can think of in wrestling that could be that serious about saying the word, this ain't no funnin', which is a grandpa thing to say. And I'm like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Uh-huh. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. It's just, and that's just it. There ain't a catchphrase. There's nothing cute. Nobody's gonna want to say anything along with it. But I just believe that it is in Ole's bones that he's here to exact revenge. And hey, at the beginning, Arn said it. When we tell you we're going to do something, we're going to do it. There you go.
That was
Dusty better
real.
watch it. Dusty better watch his fat ass.
That was
That's
real.
nice.
Yeah, it's real nice, Doc. That's classy of you. That Harper, you said it when you started talking. You said, "How real does that sound?"
Yep, that sounds fucking real as fuck, man.
Ain't no catchphrasing. Ain't no line. Ain't he just slinging,
They ain't
slinging.
selling shit.
He's just letting you have it right there. All right. So, anything else, Doc, on that?
Just, I mean, setting this shit up. Master class.
Harper, you anything?
No, just
All right.
good shit. Good.
Pretty much.
Time to be a kid back then. Fuck.
Yeah, it was good to be a kid back then. You cutting out again. I don't know what the hell's going on, but we'll hang with it. All right, so after that, they go to a recap, and it's Shivani and Crockett recapping Magnum attacking Nikita, and then they roll us to a Bob Geigel with Magnum, like, important announcement. So that's what I'm going to play right here.
As a result of a recent press conference between the United States heavyweight champion Magnum TA and Nikita Koloff, the NWA president Bob Geigel and Magnum TA have been brought together for a very important announcement from the National Wrestling Alliance concerning the United States heavyweight champion.
The board of directors of the National Wrestling Alliance has reviewed an incident that took place at a press conference for contract signing between United States heavyweight champion Magnum TA and challenger Nikita Koloff. It is a majority opinion of the board of directors that the conduct of Magnum TA, the United States title holder, was not in accordance with the standard of conduct that the National Wrestling Alliance would expect from a champion. Although it has been noted that there was some strong language on the part of Nikita Koloff, the challenger. There will be no fine. There will be no suspension. But for the record, let it be noted that this is an official reprimand for the United States champion Magnum TA for conduct unbecoming a champion.
Well, just wait a minute now. You forget about the U.S. Heavyweight Championship. Forget about the whole NWA. This is my mom here. This is family. That's different. That's got to deserve some kind of other consideration. What would you have done if it had been your mom out there? Tell me that.
The United States champion is expected to keep himself in good conduct at all times. Let that be noted.
Well, reprimand this.
Well, there, David. Magnum TA, who has a strong belief in his family, his mother, the country, and everything, really struck the blow against President Bob Geigel. As a result of that, Bob Geigel made this all-important announcement.
As president of the National Wrestling Alliance, it is my duty to make the following announcement. Magnum TA received an official reprimand from the National Wrestling Alliance for his conduct at a press conference. At the time of his notification of that decision, his actions taken against an official representative of the National Wrestling Alliance leave the board of directors no other option but to strip Magnum TA of the United States Heavyweight Championship title for conduct unbecoming a champion, effective immediately.
Okay, there it happened.
It's not right, but it did happen. The United States heavyweight title is stripped from Magnum TA.
It really is. They've been stripped from Magnum TA, but as a result of that, we have a very special announcement about that.
That's right. Coming up next.
Okay, Doc, Harper's over there. I'm going to try to edit it out, but he's over there getting a blowjob or something during the promo. Doc, what'd you think about that?
Good God. Was Geigel, were Geigel and Magnum they look like they were in the champagne room of some club somewhere with that blue pencil background. I was like, I don't know why, but this don't seem legit.
They look like they were in Shishi's, Harper, in the back room. Oh, boy. Harper, do you want me to call your phone? Because your connection is terrible. Harper.
Yeah, bro. Okay,
we can't hear you. I'm going to call your phone, Harper.
So
all right?
while you're calling the phone, let me give these people, the Docaholics, something I was thinking about during this.
Yeah, you do that.
So Magnum gets busted for saying some things and throwing some blows. and he's supposed to uphold the values of the title. Yet Ric Flair can run around with a gang just beating the shit out of people, whether it's Garvin or Morton or Dusty, and nothing ever happens. So I get that it's a prop to set up something for the Bash, an attraction that they can take to different cities. But if you
we can hear you much better. Go ahead, Doc.
If you pull on that thread of logic at all, it's like, man, if I'm Magnum, I'm pulling in Ezekiel Elliott and taking this shit to the courts. I'm locking this motherfucker down because Ric Flair's running around doing all kinds of heinous shit. The Midnight Express are dirty, rotten bastards. What are we doing here?
Harper, what did you? We couldn't hear you good because of this bad Skype connection.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Like, have y'all seen what the fuck the shit Flair's been doing? What the fuck?
Bro, Flair broke Dusty's leg, or the horseman broke his leg. They attack him any chance they get. Fucking Arn just went out there the promo before and basically threatened assault on the man, and we gonna strip Magnum. I love it.
Talking shit about his mama.
Right. Oh, all right.
Ain't that about a bitch?
Harper, anything else?
No, it's so like, it's like, what the fuck, man? He's the only asshole.
Well, you know, the babyface get held to a higher standard, I guess. You know the drill. Doc, anything else before I play Nikita and Ivan here?
No, that shit was funny, though.
All right, so here's Nikita and Ivan now, talking about what they just heard and whatnot. And there's a bit of an announcement that happens, too.
So obviously now a lot of turmoil surrounds the U.S. heavyweight title. Here's Nikita.
Again and again we talk and try to figure out how Magatia going to get out this title match on TV. So Nikita, no embarrass him in front of all the world when I defeat him on TV. Well, this is smart, Magatia. This is smart. You come out and again attack someone, Dada.
Yes, that's right. Nephew Nikita is the United States Heavyweight Champion, Magnum TA.
Excuse me, Mr. Koloff, I hate to interrupt, but Nikita Koloff is not the U.S. Heavyweight Champion. All of us on the board of directors did not agree with the majority, but they did take the title away from Magnum TA for his actions. They have ordered a best of 7 championship series between the number 1 challenger, who is Nikita Koloff, and the former champion Magnum TA. And if Nikita can defeat Magnum 4 times, then he will be the U.S. Heavyweight Champion. And it will start July the 1st in Philadelphia.
It is obviously a conspiracy. This Magnum TA has not only got Jim Crockett Promotions behind him, but the NWA. Well, we don't accept this. Nephew Nikita is the United States Heavyweight Champion, and being he is such a gracious champion, he will give Magnum TA a couple title shots during the Great American Bash. And you, Dusty Rhodes, the Great American Dream, along with your Road Warriors, during the Great American Bash, we're going to win back our World Six-Man Tag Team Trophy because Crusher Khrushchev is ready. Cage matches, double chain matches, 6-man tag team competition. And you, Ric Flair, nephew Nikita, is going to take world title away from you.
Well, fans, you heard it from Mr. Jim Crockett Jr., president of...
Well, shit, Ivan's promising every damn title. He's going after the world.
Chain matches, cage matches, winning this belt, that belt. We're already the champ. I think Uncle Ivan might have been hitting the potato vodka a little early, you know? Shit.
Harper, what did you think about it?
Right, I noticed he was wearing a suit.
Yeah, he was looking good. He was looking very dapper in his suit.
Yeah, he was looking like a manager.
He sure was. He sure was. You know, this worked well for the Bash, best of 7, if you ask me. Like the way they said. I mean, look, you put the title up, you know you're going to be doing a bunch of matches, so hey, let's do a best of 7. I hate best of 7s now, but back then it worked for me. Doc, anything else from it?
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Okay.
I thought it was.
I would love to see a best of 7 that didn't go to 7.
Yep.
Yeah, because that's what makes it too predictable. When it's the best of 7
Yeah.
now, it always goes to 7, and I want to see it where it ends. Fuck, man, do a sweep. I mean, do 6. Don't do 5. But come on, man, it's inevitable that it always goes to 7. It's like best 2 out of 3 falls. It's always going to go to the third one. It never ends after 2. So okay, all right. After Nikita and Ivan, which I thought was good, you got Tully and Arn versus Randy Mulkey and George South. Arn hits Mulkey with the Gourdbuster and wins. No Mulkey splatter in this one, unfortunately. Doc, anything from that, or can I keep going?
Man, I think everybody got the message a couple of weeks ago that said these matches are going on too long.
It's very quick. Nothing. Harper, I know you had nothing because you told me earlier.
Nothing.
All right, so then we get a Great American Bash update and a Waylon Jennings interview, and good God Almighty, it was like Tim Horner was talking, and I just popped about a bottle of Ambien. Doc, any thoughts from this?
Look, I like Waylon Jennings.
This is not on Waylon Jennings. This is just
Waylon Jennings had a big rich musical history that I know you don't know anything about.
Okay, here
but
we go.
My
Let's
exact note was, I like Waylon, but Jesus Christ, this is not what the NWA needed to be doing.
Yeah, that shit was boring, man. I couldn't watch it.
Dude, I made it halfway through, and I was like,
I didn't even make it that far.
I was afraid of that, which is why I gutted it out the whole way through in case we didn't talk about it. But it was like, man, okay, so that it felt like to me that was the first time when it was like, we got to do what the WWF does, and nobody does what they do as well as they do it. You look like a Southern hillbilly imitation of it. Just do you. It's clear that shit works. You're pulling 4,000 people in shithead South Carolina. Something's working.
Yeah, the whole country, just because here's the thing about the NWA.
Here's the thing. Here's the other thing. All of us 43-year-old guys like Harper and I that actually like music. Okay, we like Waylon and Willie and Johnny Cash now. We didn't like that shit when we were 12 years old. I like fucking Van Halen and Motley Crue and all that shit. So you ain't getting nowhere with Waylon with me 35 years ago. You can get the fuck out.
Well, I'm sure there was a segment of the population from the NWA that did like that, but man, if
not
you
on
look
national
at it,
TV.
Well, what I was about to say was, if you look at it, the audience back then, yeah, there was a lot of Southern white folks, but there was more than just white folks in the crowd back then, and I'm just wondering how. You always hear Dusty, and he's about to do it in a second, I think. Talking to the not just the white population, but the African American population and all the other fans. It's like, I'm not saying they should have booked who was a fucking popular rap group back then, UTFO or somebody, but
New Edition.
LL Cool J.
Nah, bro, that shit would not have worked. Not New Edition. But my point is, you got more. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me and where I grew up, and I'm like Waylon Jennings, man. No disrespect to Waylon, but this is a wrestling, product. This is not a music product. And Doc, you nailed it. You nailed it with what you said. WWE or F at the time had done that whole Cyndi Lauper thing, and they were getting the music acts involved, and that's true. I never thought about it like that. That's correct. I don't know if that's what they were trying to do with that and mimic it, but yeah, I agree, man. It's just stick to what you do best, man. Stick to what you do best, wrestling.
This was real unfortunate on a lot of levels.
Yeah, I agree. Stick with what you do best.
What did he do? Nothing, huh? He just sang, right? At the shows?
Yeah, I don't know which one, but he did.
And then David Allen Coe got out there and ran out his song catalog, which was sketchy, depending on which part of his career he went to, was sketchy at best.
Jesus Christ. All right, let's keep going. We got Baby Doll coming up. Baby Doll, if you're listening, we want you on the show.
We're back with Baby Doll, and obviously all 4 horsemen are back together, Baby Doll.
Well, Tony, this deal between Ole Anderson and Dusty Rhodes, this isn't a new thing. This has been years and years that no one knows about. So Ole Anderson, My man Dusty Rhodes is about to say a few words, and if you're very smart, like you say you are, you'll listen to him because Dusty means what he says.
Let's go to that tape of Dusty Rhodes.
You know, for 7, 8, 9 years, Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, and Ole Anderson done battle throughout this country. It's always been a way with Ole Anderson and Dusty Rhodes to cripple Maine or hurt somebody. The American Dream seems to be something that he don't want to believe in. He's stuck in this redneck attitude about the way the country should be, about what should happen. You know, whether you're black, white, green, yellow, it has never mattered to the American Dream. And he has always went on television and said, I believe one way, he believes the other. He's a bigamist. He's bigger than life. He's a redneck. He has nothing more than Ole Anderson. He laid up in Wisconsin with a broken leg, feeling sorry for himself. Now, once again, he comes, tries to tear my ear off and get into my personal, you understand? Now, when you play the dozens with Dusty Rhodes through the years, you know that something got to happen. He say, Dusty Rhodes, this is me and you. This is the end. All you skeptics in television land, all you people that are interested in watching the comedies on Saturday morning and think it's wrestling, got to get on this right here. This the real deal. This the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. This is my livelihood. This is the way I make my living, day in, day out. And for every skeptic, for every lawyer that think he's a halfway fan, there are 20 million people daily that love professional wrestling, that love Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, and believe the way I do. You think Ole Anderson 1 minute, I'm going to go and tell this guy over here, this little bitty kid, no matter what color he is, that there's not a real American Dream out there, that you can't reach out in life and be the best you can, and go through this life like Dusty Rhodes living on the end of a lightning bolt, nurturing wounds, and offering up my innocence. And every time I do what you do, you pay me back in scorn. Well, the fans say, come in, Dream. I'll give you shelter from the storm. That's what it's all about, Ole. If it's me and
Preach
you,
it, Dusty.
if this is the end, if it's all over, if there's no mas, no more, then let's go for it. Let's go for it. Leave no stone unturned. Leave no rock not thrown and no glass broken. If this the end, I'm glad it's me and you. Ain't that the way it should be, Hoss? You got it, Jack.
Okay, Doc, you go
Somebody
first.
needs. I ain't lying right now. If Dusty would have passed me a collection plate after that shit, I'd have my motherfucking pockets, dude. I'd have been like, "Yeah, hold on, I'm in arrears here. Let me get my money right, dude." He finished. That was a colossally strong finish. He called him a bigamist, which I don't quite get. He pretty much called him a cracker-ass racist.
You sure fuck did.
It sounded like it could have been cut in 2017. Man, I can't put this promo over enough. This shit was awesome. Again, another one I say that I enjoy more than Hard Times.
This was good. This was
good.
This was, you know, like Rick was like angry and psycho last week. This was like Dusty's version of the same thing. If y'all remember, Rick kind of was crazy, but that's how I took it. And he's just gathering his people, talking about the little kid should be able to live his dream. It just is like you said, Doc. If he'd started passing around a collection plate, I'd be like, "Hold on, brother, I got you. Let me get a 5 or 2 out of my wallet." Harper, what did you think?
Man, that sounded fucking great. And I like at the end where it's like, it's just gonna be you and me, Hoss.
Mm-hmm.
like it reminded me. You ever seen The Shooters? The old John Wayne movie. That's what that reminded me of. Like at the end, it's just gonna be you and me.
Should I offer my theory, Mike, on John Wayne?
Don't do it. Don't
Do it.
Well, no, because it'll spin us off into a 20-minute discussion.
Oh.
We'll be. It's about baby boomers and the whole John Wayne. Oh, jeez, you wouldn't be able to discuss it in like a 60-second format. There's no way because it's too good. It's a patron episode, dude.
Oh, well, then maybe you should tell the people. Take this opportunity to tell the people how to become a patron.
Well, yeah, just go to tinyurl.com/bttpatron. Get access to all the world-class episodes, all the other episodes that we're putting up. Please do it. It'll help out the show. tinyurl.com/bttpatron. Thanks, Doc. I appreciate that. But no, in reality, that would be a great patron episode because we can have some fun with that shit. John Wayne philosophy. All right. Anything else from that, Harper?
I mean, that's what he sounded like.
Yeah,
it was going to be a shootout, and they're going to be the last two standing.
Yep. Doc, you anything else?
Top shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. Hard. There's a couple of Rolex candidates we got going on in this show. So after that is Nikita Koloff versus Todd Champion. Champion was either on last week's Worldwide episode or 2 weeks ago because I've been watching the Worldwides as we do this with it. But Nikita wins with the Russian sickle. Doc,
but
anything for the match?
Well, Champion fought back, and was this the first time we'd seen him on Saturday night?
Yeah, it's his. I think it's his Saturday night debut, but I know he's been on Worldwide once or twice. He's even cut a promo on there actually at this point too.
He fired up though on Nikita.
Yeah. He wasn't. I mean, it wasn't a long match, but I mean, he didn't go out there and just get completely destroyed either. So, all right. So after that is Tully and JJ come out, and let's listen to them.
Tully Blanchard Enterprises, the champion Tully Blanchard and James J. Dillon.
You know, this thing with Ronnie Garvin is all coming into place in the proper perspective. You know, I don't know if anybody sitting out there ever has been knocked out, but I have in my career. I've been knocked out a few times, and it's a pretty sickening feeling because the blood pressure drops so low. When you pass out, you don't dream, you don't do anything, and when you come back around, it's a harrowing feeling. And for 6 months, I've watched Ronnie Garvin knock people out here on national television, and knowing that the same individual was challenging the national champion put a little bit of fear into me. But now you see the entire situation has reversed because the 23rd of May in Norfolk, Virginia, Ronnie Garvin was knocked out for the first time in his career.
Carried out, too.
And he was carried out where he was looking up at the lights in the ceiling trying to wonder where he was. So now, Ronnie Garvin, you load up your tape. You issue your challenges. You come to the Great American Bash and you challenge the national champion. But in the back of your mind, Mr. Garvin, think back of that sickening feeling. Norfolk, Virginia, when you were knocked colder than a wedge. And think of that harrowing feeling when the blood pressure started to rise and you were going out on that stretcher and realize where you were and realize what happened and come to the realization that this man did it and he can do it again and he is going to do it.
You know, Tony, JJ, all you people out there, I come out here every week with the National Heavyweight Championship belt and everybody thinks or seems to think that it was handed to me on a silver platter. Now you think back. On national television, the start of the demise of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. When I pinned him 1, 2, 3 right in the middle of the ring and won the National Heavyweight Championship. And now Dusty Rhodes don't ever want to get back in the ring, especially now that the fourth horseman is back. Right. Dusty Rhodes, you better run in groups, great big groups, Dusty Rhodes, to protect yourself. You get Garvin, you get Magnum, you get all those risky business boys, and you keep them all right around you real close. Because Dusty Rhodes, just like Ole said, the four horsemen are back, and you're going down. Now, Garvin, one other thing, just a minute. One other thing, Garvin don't like to talk about this. Garvin doesn't like to talk about Norfolk, Virginia on May the 23rd. Maybe, JJ, if he doesn't talk about it, it never happened.
But he said, I quit.
Huh. That's it.
Fans, we're coming right back.
I'm going to tell you who's talking him into the building with the feud between Tully and Ronnie Garvin. And it's fucking Tully.
It's gonna yeah, really, huh?
Amen. Go ahead, Doc. You were talking. I didn't mean to talk over you.
No, JJ's in on that too, and man, I started thinking about this during that promo, and it wasn't that promo specific, but I was like, bro, they got 3 of the belts without Ole. Now they got Ole. Who's gonna stop them?
It's like a train rolling down the freaking road, man. I mean,
this is no different when the NWO dump trucked everybody at the beginning, and it's like, how can they be stopped?
Yeah,
Lex Luger's gonna show up.
Oh boy!
Oh boy!
And he's
what is he gonna do?
Destroy everyone.
What's he gonna do? Fall off the top rope?
Oh,
that's nice.
Classy. Harper, what'd you think about the promo?
Shit was fucking great. And I love how they kept bringing up, don't forget Norfolk, motherfucker. Don't forget that shit.
Yeah.
And they talked about when he's like, oh, you quit. And they probably just stopped chanting, you quit to fucking Tully from fucking Starrcade.
I know. It's June now.
Right.
It's June. They were saying it since Thanksgiving night of '85.
You're right.
Like, damn. I just, like, the main thing I took was, damn, Tully and JJ are talking these people into the building. Because Ronnie, it wasn't horrible at the beginning. We didn't play it, but Tully and JJ are the ones making this thing work, man. They're getting there. They're the ones like, you know what? You're some pricks, man. We hope Ronnie Garvin knocks you out. So, yeah. All right. Anything else, Doc, before I move on? All right. Let's go to Magnum now. Magnum's coming back out.
You've all seen and heard what has transpired. He still has the belt with him. Here he is, Magnum TA.
Well, I say to you, the audacity of Bob Geigel and the whole NWA. You know, it was back Thanksgiving of last year when I alone walked inside a steel cage with Tully Blanchard, our quit match. They said it was the most brutal match in the history of professional wrestling. Yet when the match was over and the smoke cleared, when the battle was over, I walked out with this firmly in my grasp. And since that time, day in and day out, I've met every challenge that anybody has ever wanted to present to me. The list goes long and tough, the big and bad of them all. And then out of the darkness came the Russian Nightmare. The man they all called the Bad Nightmare from the Big Bad Russia. They said he could do what no other man could do. He could embarrass the whole United States. Well, he couldn't get it done in the wrestling ring. He couldn't get it done with all the special stipulations, Russian chain matches. He had to stoop to the lowest form of any human being on this earth. He stooped down so low as to insult all the women in the world, and more specifically, my mother. Well, America was built on freedom. Men that would fight for that freedom and did it real proudly. But none of those men would have been able to do any of that without a very special lady in all their lives. The person that gave them all life. Their mother who gave them the desire to fight and instilled that down inside them. Well, I tell you something, Nikita Koloff, this is straight out there to Bob Geigel too. This belt is nothing but a bunch of metal and leather without the meaning behind it. You can take this out of my hands, but you can't take what's in my heart. You can't take the love for my family and my mother that I die fighting for, no matter what it takes. A best out of 7 tournament, it doesn't matter what they want to dictate to me. Because I dictate my life. I dictate my actions. And whatever kind of fight it's got to be, that's just fine. Because I'll bow to no man, especially a no good commie Russian.
Let's go to the ring.
All right, Doc, you first this time.
Trigger words, commie was key back then.
Oh, of course.
It's like Smothers and his code words to his people in Smoky Mountain. I don't remember. I'll be real honest. I don't remember the 7 matches with Nikita, although I think I know what happened. So I'm kind of looking forward to this. And all of this shit's starting to heat up and point us to the bash, and I'm ready to bash it up.
I agree. Harper, your thoughts on the promo?
I want to see one of those a tag team match with the Russians versus Magnum and his mama, like they did with Buff Bagwell.
No.
Judy Bagwell.
Yeah.
Judy Bagwell on a pole match.
No.
Exactly. Magnum TA's mama on a pole.
No, I want to pass on that. No.
Mrs. TA.
Hey, I tell you what. You know what Magnum said now? That was real good. Magnum was hot, and he deserved to be. The best part about that, none of that shit was scripted. That was the other part. But the point I want to make was, I love when he said, "You could take this belt from me. It's not going to take away the fire that I have to bust Nikita's ass." I mean, he didn't say those words, but that's basically what he said. You can take the belt, but it's not going to take away the fact that I'm still running and gunning for that sucker. I thought that's what I liked about that. That was my thing. So, Doc, anything else? Harper, you?
No.
All right. Next match after that is Shaska and Barbarian versus Jim Dawson, Italian Stallion. Paul Jones is yelling like a madman about the picture they showed earlier that was of Jones's bald head. Shaska hits a suplex from the second rope, pins Jim Dawson. Manny Fernandez and Ronnie Garvin hit the ring, though, and attack Shaska, and they cut some of Shaska's hair. Just got a gob of it, not all of it. Doc, you had anything from that?
These matches are all garbage.
They really are. So I'll keep moving.
This is dog shit.
Yeah, we're not watching this for the matches. We said that, 7 months ago when we started doing these. Then we have a promo. It's Wahoo Mcdaniel. I'm not playing it, but Shivani opens up the interview and says Wahoo has an Indian strap for his Indian strap match. I'm not playing this, but chalk this up to just some things that you're not going to hear nowadays with the way they said Indian strap a million times. I mean, they're just going to call it a strap match nowadays. And what was that you said on the Smoky Mountain show? You can't even say Indian style anymore at the kids' school, Doc?
Crisscross applesauce.
Yeah, that's the new one. I don't think that one's aired yet because we just recorded it recently. But
crisscross applesauce.
Yeah, I thought Doc was just joking when he said that. So I point that out because you're not going to hear anyone call it an Indian strap match nowadays. It's just not going to happen.
What makes it an Indian strap match?
There's an Indian in a match.
There's a Native American. Wahoo, yeah. And it's his strap, so it's an Indian strap match. I guess, yeah. Okay. Well, not that, I guess, but that's what it is. So after that, let me keep going. It's Wahoo versus Lee Peak. Wahoo finishes him off with a big chop and then a brutal backbreaker. Doc, anything from the match?
Stiff.
Damn right. All right. I know Harper doesn't have anything. So I'm going to play now the next thing, which is Cornette back out there. So here it is.
Okay, Jim Cornette and Big Bubba Rogers.
First of all, I saw Baby Doll out here a little earlier in her Calamity Jane outfit. Okay, she looks the part of a real Texas cowgirl. You know the kind, more cow than girl. And I also understand that the James girls are going to be somewhere around here today. Well, hey, Dusty and Magnum, let me tell you something. You just come on out here, try to jump me from behind, because you see who's standing behind me. Big Bubba Rogers, big as a house with a 3-car garage, and that's what it would feel like fell on you if you tried to lay one finger on me or do me any harm in any way, because he's taking real good care of me, Tony. You wouldn't believe how big his man is. You wouldn't believe the things he is great. And ladies and gentlemen, I will introduce someone else who's great. The highlight of your day, the greatest team in professional wrestling, Loverboy Dennis and Beautiful Bobby.
That music makes me so mad.
Dude, God, right when it starts, fuck.
It sounds like an 80s porn, like music, like from a porn scene or some shit. Okay, Doc, Corny's on it again.
More cow than girl taught me there.
Fuck.
She's rendering services, and now she's more cow than girl.
Oh, Baby Doll, if you're listening, we love you. Yeah. Baby Doll, if you're listening, we love you. We're just critiquing Cornette here. Harper, you had anything besides more cow than girl there from Cornette?
No, that shit was great though.
Well, it leads into a match, obviously, and it's the Midnight Express versus Robert Burroughs and Vernon Deaton. And Cornette is on commentary out there, and then he throws out the line, and I don't have a timestamp for it, but he says, Baby Doll needs to go find some bum making $4 an hour and be a housewife and get in the kitchen. He just was relentless. I mean, he didn't stop with the promos. He's on the interview doing the same thing. Not even midway through the match, Bobby Eaton hits a big elbow off the top rope, and they just keep going another 3 to 4 minutes. Midnight's eventually win. Doc, do you have anything from this match? These two guys look like bums out there.
Yeah, not really.
I actually think, then I'm looking at it as we're talking about it, I think that's the guy who jobbed Dusty before the Flair match.
Oh, really?
I think so. Not the guy with the light blue tights, is the navy blue. Not Burroughs, Deaton. So anyway, all right. After that, I'm not playing this, but there's a promo with the Rock and Roll, not with the Rock and Roll, well, kind of with the Rock and Roll Express. It's about the Rock and Roll.
Yeah.
Super Summer Sizzling Tour.
Man, you can hang out with them or fuck them or like be a young boy or drive them around or.
Bruh, they took what Watts did in Mid-South to a new level with this shit. And I didn't remember it the way they did it. But so there's 3 different contests. There's one where it's a look-alike contest, and that's just for little kids. You know, people they're not gonna,
like a cosplay.
Right. And then there's a second one where it's Miss Rock and Roll Express for girls between 14 and 17. Now, 6 winners will win, and they'll escort them to the ring. Jesus Christ.
What's up, bro? That's
14 to 17-year-olds, Hopper.
That seems that seems more like risky business than anything else. maybe that's why I totally called them the Risky Business Boys.
And then the third contest is the Dream Day contest. Now you all remember this from Mid-South. They did it 2 years earlier in Mid-South. They basically get to handpick a few more broads that they're going to bang that night. The only thing Jim Crockett Promotions didn't do that Watts did in Mid-South was Watts said there would be an independent panel of experts. Crockett Promotions didn't mislead anyone. They just said there will be 2 winners. But they didn't say Ricky and Robert would pick them out. So I guess they learned, or not that they learned, but I found that to be definitely interesting that they changed that up a little.
I would love to know how this happened. How'd it go?
They send in a postcard and they write their essay, and Ricky and Robert looked and she looks hot. I want to fuck her, and she won, and they banged them.
Where'd they go? What'd they do?
Well, I can tell you at the one at the Superdome that they won the date with, they showed them out at a club. They showed them out to dinner, and then that was it. We know what happened after.
Yeah.
Come on, I mean. I'll ask this. Doc, you're a math. Double drop kick, all right. Doc, you're a math guy.
To the vagina.
Doc, you're a math guy. What's the odds that Ricky and Robert didn't bang whoever won that?
Odds that they did or didn't?
Didn't.
0.
Okay, there you go. I was going to go negative, but okay. That's not possible, but that's what I was going to go.
It's not needed.
Right.
Must have been nice.
No. Hopper, keep going.
To have your boss acting as your pimp?
I mean, and they just bring them all in like they're fucking cattle.
Pretty much.
Okay, these 2, let's go.
You know how it goes. All right, so after that, there's a match. It's Ron Garvin versus Bill Tab. Garvin ties Mr. Tab up, beats him like he does everybody on Saturday night. He's got him in a hold I haven't seen in years, right before he drop kicks him, chops him 3 times, and then knocks him out, and then gives him some chin nuts. Doc, thoughts from that?
My only note was that Bill Tab found out that in NWA 1986, Black Lives don't matter.
Doc. Hopper, anything from you?
I was thinking when he wrestles Tully, is he going to put his nuts in his fucking face?
I guess.
Because all the matches we've seen from him is these fucking jobbers that he pins like this.
Yeah.
Rick. He didn't do it to Rick.
Yeah, okay.
He didn't do it to Rick. Something to next week. I've already watched it just to kind of get my head wrapped around what happens after each week. And so he wrestles Paul Garner next week, and he does neck nuts. And that's all I'm going to say. You're going to have to watch
neck nuts.
He gives him some neck nuts. Just you'll see it. You'll be like, oh, look at this shit. Okay, so after that, Doc, anything else I should ask? Manny Fernandez comes out. He cuts a promo about cutting Shaska's hair earlier. Boogie comes out after bonging some crystal meth and a line of cocaine. And, it is what it is. Normal Manny and Boogie promo. Doc, anything from that?
Oh, no.
Yeah, me either.
No.
Hopper. Okay. Well, let's listen to the James. Let's listen to the James Boys. That's a quick one. Here it is. This is the James Boys, with the mask. Basically Dusty and Magnum.
Okay, back with you on World Championship Wrestling. Like we said, we have had excitement plenty today, and it continues as we're joined here by the James boys, Frank and Jesse James, along with Baby Doll.
You know, there's so much going on out here today, it's unbelievable. There's some people sitting out here with great little jewels coming out of their mouths. They're so intelligent, unreal. Me and Jess been riding the range, acting strange, looking for the Midnight Express. Somewhere the Midnight Express is going to find out that Frank and Jesse Jane, along with Baby Doll, going to take care of it. You know what? Jim Cornette, Big Bubba, look like something left over from the movie The Godfather. You understand? He's trying to scare us. That ain't going to happen. Jim Cornette, I want your mama to know something. I want you to tell her that me and Jess are planning a big Christmas surprise. When she get up in the morning this year on Christmas, the James boys gonna come down the chimney and scare out of her socks right there. And the Midnight Express, we gonna beat you as long and hard as we have to until you understand you should have signed that contract with Magnum TA and Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream.
Jesse?
You know, it seems that the man has found a new lease on life since Big Bubba's come into his life again. And I want to remind him of one thing. You can only stay so close to that man for a very short period of time. And I'm sure maybe you'd like to stay with him close for a long, long time.
The James boys and Baby Doll. Words of warning to the Midnight Express. Let's go to the ring.
Doc, what'd you think?
I'm going to be honest. This James gang stuff is a little goofy. Not my favorite.
Harper, you?
I couldn't stop staring at that fucking snake head on Baby Doll's hat. What the fuck?
That looked like
that's
a Ron Fuller hat.
Yeah,
it did.
No doubt.
That's what it looked like.
The stud has arrived. Yeah, it looked like a from a truck stop or something.
Well, when she first came out earlier, I was like, that looks like a hat Ron Fuller has. Yeah, this one, I played it because it was short. It was kind of weird. Like, they didn't really say anything worthwhile.
No. And it almost sounded like Magnum was like trying to sound like Dusty, kind of.
Yeah.
Disguise his voice.
Yeah. I'm like Doc. I'm actually liked what they were doing with this, especially last week when Cornette lost his mind behind the fake James boys and the real James boys. And no, the fake James boys, and they unmasked the wrong James boys. So I mean, I like that part of it, but this promo was not that great. So we'll move forward because we're almost at the end. We got Jimmy Garvin and Steve Regal versus Rocky King and Paul Garner. Once again, King and Garner are just happy they don't have to watch or let the Road Warriors beat their ass, or even Ronnie Garvin. Garvin and Regal get the win. Doc, anything?
Not a damn thing.
All right. Harper, I know you don't have anything either, so I'm just going to go and hit play on the next promo, and here it is.
Steve Regal, Gorgeous Jimmy, and Precious with us here at ringside.
Man, I gotta tell you, Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin has seen a lot of things, but today is the day of days. The greatest wrestler in the world, and we're so proud to be here, the National Wrestling Alliance. Now everybody's saying, Gorgeous Jimmy, you're so cruel for what you did to the Chief. You said you were going to drop him on his head, and you did. You said you were going to strap him, and you did. No, I'm not that bad of a guy. I spent a lot of money. I took an ad out in the greatest paper in the country today, and I'm going to read it to you. Desperate, will take any work. One slightly used Indian brave, that is. He was a chief at one time. Recently was involved in an accident with Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin, but is still in fair condition despite a little brain damage from being dropped on his head and a few scars on his back from being whipped. The qualifications is Papoose sitting. He's very good. TP repairs. Not TV, TP. Tour guide, daytime only because he's afraid of the dark. And a part-time medicine man. The Great American Bash. I can't find anybody to wrestle me, but we bought our front row tickets, and we're going to be at every one of them. Now, Magnum crying about your mama, you just about make me sick. Oh, yeah, if she only knew you used to be a dancer in San Francisco, she probably would throw you out of the house. Damn. Now, and I think it's ridiculous that the Russians, the great Russian team, has to beat him 4 times. Have you ever heard of such a sickening thing?
Ridiculous.
Now I'm going to be talking to Ted, baby, and I'm going to see about banning that wildebeest from this family station. This is a super station for super families. Boogie Woogie, man, he thinks he's some kind of barber. Wahoo! Don't you dare threaten my squeeze or me again, and you ain't dragging me or tying me to nothing.
We'll see you next week on World Championship Wrestling.
I had to play it. I thought Garvin was funny right there. He popped me a few times. Doc, what'd you think?
Every time I'm like, he all of a sudden drops a line like the damn dancer in San Francisco, and I think it's funny, and you can't do it today. And then he just ran down why everybody on the one side stinks. All right.
That line about Magnum being a dancer in San Francisco, I was like, oh, damn. And I mean, I guess there may be young listeners out there who don't get it. Basically, he was calling Magnum gay because there was like this thing in the 80s where, I don't know, Doc, I seem to remember where it was like, oh, this is where all the gay people live in San Francisco. Do you remember that?
I think it's still like that.
Well, it was like really, that was like the common rumor. But that was like the common rumor. It's like gay people are in San Francisco. I mean, they're nowhere else back then, at least. That's the way
that was their Harlem.
Right. What? Right. Just go with it, Doc. Yeah. So that was the line that popped me. I was like, holy shit. Damn. But anyway, whatever. He's out there cutting a promo, and I got to give Jimmy some credit here. He's been doing a little bit different lately. He's rolling, man. He's not world class Garvin right now, but he's making us laugh. So, okay, Doc. Anything else from that?
Mm-mm.
All right. Let's. I tell you what. I've been doing my Rolex first. Doc, you do your Rolex first this week. Who are you giving a Rolex to?
I struggled on this one more than usual. At different points, I'd given it to 3 different guys, none of which were Ric Flair. And this may surprise you a little bit, but I ended up with Dusty Rhodes getting the Rolex.
Yeah, I can see Dusty getting it for that promo that he cut because it was really
good.
Harper, who are you giving yours to?
I'll give mine to fucking Ole because he's the one that started all this shit.
What's causing all this?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to give mine to Ole too. His comeback promo. I mean, Arn was in the running too with that line. Maybe we'll get you getting out of your car. I mean, it just was so prophetic. I almost went that way, but I agree. I think Ole gets it. Ole was laying it in on his, and the Horsemen are back together, and it was just some good stuff. Okay, let's rate it. So long episode. I say long, but this is the normal time. But just based on, there were so many promos that were worthy. I mean, I gave it an A. I had Cornette in there. I had Jimmy Garvin even at the end. Magnum, fired up. Tully and JJ, Ivan, Nikita, their promo was good. I thought it was really. I mean, then you got Ole and Arn, and then Dusty's promo, and then Rick. Just really, really good stuff. So I gave it an A. Doc, what'd you give it?
There's not one match worth half a shit on this entire.
Yeah,
25 minutes.
Well, when you consider, what about Dusty and Rick?
Well, that's different, but it was a clip, right? I'm talking about in the studio.
Yeah, you're right.
There's not 1 second of wrestling I gave a shit about, and this show still gets an A. So that should tell you how awesome everything else was.
You said it a while back, though. Maybe we're not wrestling fans. Maybe we just like a bunch of shit talking.
It's possible. It's possible.
We watch this for the shit talking, not necessarily wrestling. I mean,
well, the matches they're all the same.
Yeah, unless it's like the ones from Worldwide, like they showed this week with Rick and Dusty, or they showed that one a couple months ago with Dusty and Tully when Tully won their national title. That might have been one of the best ones that they've aired. But again, it wasn't filmed in the studio. I mean, the studio matches are just jobber matches. I mean, they're enhancement talent. That's what they were there for, to get guys over. So, what kind of rating did you give it, Hopper?
A fucking A, man.
Yeah, hard not to. I thought at least.
You have to.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so that was June the 7th, 1986 of NWA WCW Saturday night on TBS, man. Overall, lots of good promos. Wrestling, not so much, but lots of good promos. Hey, if you're listening, please check out our Amazon referral link. It's tinyurl.com/BTC Amazon. Please use that. It's a great way to support the show. Give it to your wives and girlfriends. We'd appreciate it. Like I said, it doesn't cost you anything extra. It's just a good way to support the show without spending any extra money. Now, before we get out of here, I do have one promo of the week. Y'all haven't heard this. This is from Worldwide with Cornette, ripping another one. But also, I will after this, and Doc and Harper won't stick around for this, but I'm going to play the promos from Worldwide from this week. So NWA Worldwide, all the promos that were on that episode, I'm going to stack at the end of this one like I've been doing. So